Welcome Bitcoin friends, it's Bitcoin Mamo. This is part 2 of a previous video we made a few hours back. If you didn't see part 1, please go back and watch that. There's a lot of useful information. We did look at confluence of fib levels to predict price targets, and this following video does flow on from that previous video. And in that previous video, we were looking more at the higher term timeframes, the 3-week, the 2-week, and the 1-week. And in this part 2, we're going to look at the more smaller term timeframes like the daily. Let's look at our more immediate price action. We're going down to the daily time frame. And I do think we were in this channel pattern here where we connect both of these lows and also does connect pretty much these highs. We did see it acted as support here on this pullback, and also the midline of this channel did capture these pullbacks here as support and then resistance. So this does seem to be a valid pattern here. And basically we did break above this level, and on consolidating we stayed above the breakout level, retested it for support, got this bounce, and now we are moving higher. Just to look at the potential target of breaking this channel pattern, basically we take the width of the channel and we put it at the breakout point. This was where we broke out of the channel, and it gives us a measured move here at 32,500 approximately. We do see this is actually the top of this range here where we previously consolidated in the bear market. So there is some confluence with that level. So we may see a pullback once we do reach that level. Some people taking profits on their trades. And if we actually go back to this picture with the confluence of the fibs, this other level here was at 32.6, and the measured move of that target was at 32.3. We can also draw a channel this way, and we see that midline does act as support, but it also can be a channel within a channel. But the measured move is quite close to this target, so I think we come maybe up to 32.3 to 32.7 level, and then we see a pullback before having that next move to 36.8k. So we could possibly see something like this play out where we do reach that measured move target, and then we do see a pullback. Perhaps we test the top of this channel for support again, and we get that bounce. Also coming back to the range here to test this level for support, and then we get that bounce. We go to that golden pocket and 382 fib level, and then we have that bigger pullback where there is the confluence of these fibs, taking it from these two lows to that projected target. So we could see something like this play out, and we'll have to wait to see. That could take several months to occur. So we looked previously at all of those weekly order blocks, the 1-week, the 2-week, the 3-week, and the 4-week, all on the same chart. This time we're going to look at all of the daily order blocks, the 1-day, 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, 5-day, and 6-day order blocks. And again, I've overlapped them. When the whiter color is brighter, there is more of those order blocks overlapped. We've got all those different daily ones all on the same time frame here. And what we can see is the brighter areas are the more important areas here with the overlapping order blocks. We can see we do have 3 order blocks here, one with this order block, one with this order block, and then one with that order block. And all 3 of those do overlap in this area at 30.4k to 30,000. We can see on this run, we are starting to get some resistance at this level. So we might spend some time consolidating here, and then we don't see much overlap until quite a bit higher. There is a little bit of overlap at 32.2k. This is the measured move of that target up around 33k. So there is a little bit of overlap here, again at 32.8. After meeting this target, maybe we get a small pullback as mentioned before coming to that confluence of fib levels here. And then we do see a lot of overlap higher up here at around 37.5k down to 36.7k. And again, this is the area where I think we're going to have resistance and get that bigger pullback. And onto the Bitcoin CME futures chart now. We also have confluence of fibs with the futures chart. But just looking at some gaps now, I have drawn in that same channel here, and we do have the measured move coming up to around 33.8k, but there is actually a gap here a little bit higher at 34.5k to 35.2k coming from the previous bear market. So I do think we most likely fill this gap here on this move, as it is quite close to our target of this move. And then I do think we come into this golden pocket area and the 382 fib level as mentioned. And we see also on the futures chart quite a decent spike on the VPVR levels at around 38.1k to 39.5k. So this whole area will become possible resistance, and we may wick higher here, but it might be short lasting. I think we end up closing higher term time frame candles like the weekly and above, at least inside this golden pocket or below it. And then we do see that bigger pullback coming back down. And there is actually another futures gap here, just a small one, just that we created recently on this move over the last few days. We can see a gap here on the opening of this latest weekly candle, where we did make a gap between 28.2k and 28.3k. These gaps basically form because the futures market is closed over the weekend, but the general Bitcoin spot market stays open. So when the futures does open, it generally can open higher if the spot market did move higher over the weekend. And these gaps do get filled at least 90% of the time. They don't have to get filled, but a high proportion do get filled. And we do also have a gap that we made after this initial run from 20k. This gap's already been filled, so I can delete that one. But we do still have this gap further down here, which is at 20k to 21k. And I don't know if we will fill this gap. We did have quite a big move here, but we can't rule it out completely. I personally don't think we will fill it, even though we do fill the majority of the gaps. I think on any pullback, the lowest we would go would be around 25, 26k to the top of this range. Just something to keep an eye on. We did just recently fill this gap when we did consolidate in this range. And going over to a market cipher now, we are on the 9-day time frame. We talked about this in the previous video. We are looking for a red dot on this blue wave here on the 9-day time frame to indicate where that bigger pullback might start occurring, as we did look back on previous cycles here. And the 9-day was the one that gave us the most clear signal. This was the start of the bull run in 2018, 2019, and we saw we had this a big rally to the upside, about a 350% rally here. But we did see we had that green dot at the bottom, and we went all the way up. And then once we got that red dot, confirmed the top of this rally was in. We had a 53% correction over several months here. But if we look at the smaller term time frames, there were lots of red and green dots here. It was very choppy. So we have found that the 9-day time frame was the clearest, just looking for that one red dot. If we do go back to the cycle before that, what we do see is this was the bear market 2014-15, and then the bull market in 2015-16. We did see we came out of the bottom of the bear market, had this really nice rally here, and then we saw this blue wave come all the way up after the green dot, which got pretty much the bottom here. And then once we did get that red dot on the 9-day time frame, confirmed this was the top of this rally, and then we did see a 24% correction. So that's why we're looking for that 9-day time frame red dot. And what I've done is this orange rectangle here basically gets the range of these two red dots in both of these rallies here coming out of the bottom of the bear market, where we did see more of a bigger correction over time. And so that's why we're using the 9-day here for our current rally coming out of the bear market lows, as it was consistent in the previous bear markets. And this is the possible target area where we may see that red dot. So it does look like there's a bit more to go here. We can see the blue wave still looks strong. It is starting to curve a little bit, but we'll have to wait for this to play out a bit more to get a better idea of when we might see this red dot come into play. And as mentioned, looking at those other charts, I think we'll get that red dot when we come up to these levels we spoke about around that golden pocket and that 0.382 fib confluence area. But again, we'll have to wait for this to play out. I think it's going to take a little bit longer here still. But I think that's about all. Hope you enjoyed that analysis on Bitcoin Mamo. I'll see you next time. Bye.